All right, so we have the medium Harvest Right freeze dryer behind me. So the video is about thumbnail. I don't know what thumbnail gonna be, y'all. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to. I know there's a ton of videos about this freeze dryer. However, I have been saying like how I'm gonna really get into like my reviews personally, and just this process from start to finish. I really wanted to document, so that is all that I'm doing. Getting started, there are a ton of videos, hooking it up, and it is super simple. However, there was one part when you get to in the home freeze dryer owner's manual, which I implore you to read, even if you looked at videos, whatever. Once you get this manual, just read it for yourself. But in the freeze dryer assembly, page 5, assembly instructions: wait 24 hours before running your freeze dryer in order to facilitate proper settling of the refrigerant within the condensing unit. And then you go on to step 1. Once unpacked, place the freeze dryer on a level, stable surface. And goes 1 through 12, telling you the steps. 13 is you are now ready to start your first batch. So I was a little confused about what point do you do that 24-hour running. Is it 24 hours before setup, 24 hours after setup, and essentially what that meant. And so I just feel like that should have been clearer. That is the process that I'm actually in right now, just waiting that 24 hours. It is completely set up. However, it has not been turned on, not once. Just all the hoses and oil pump is set up, and it's just waiting through the 24-hour period. The next thing was for step 10, it's about the basically the drainage hose. And I don't know, just to me, it didn't seem like it was clear about like where to locate that and like how to get it. I definitely thought I was missing pieces. So if that is something for you, it's definitely like just inside the machine and something you have to kind of pull out and get to. You aren't missing a piece. And so those are just my 2 things initially before even turning it on, getting to. And then I know that I'll have another step because the after the 24-hour process, you are to freeze dry some moist bread, and that is your test sample. Make sure everything is working properly. And I just don't know like the times that you are supposed to do certain things. Like a lot of the things, even they give you a guide to freeze drying, they give you a couple things, and it's said like, oh, it can take different times, and I get that, but I just feel like a basic metric would be good to have. Just what to expect, how long to expect. So those are just my key takeaways going in. I also wanted to note that I went back and forth with getting a small one. I felt like, you see, I'm a small girl, okay? I'm like, small is good for me. Small is good for the purpose. And went in, a lot of places do not have the small. So went in and seen a medium and immediately felt like a smaller than this would be a little crazy. And then so went ahead and pulled the plug on the medium. So I have not seen a small. I see people saying that it's a good buy. I see people saying it's really not worth it. And for me, I don't think it, just now having it, I am happier with the decision, because you aren't saving, $1,000. You're saving a little money, and you get it's a pretty big difference. I feel like between the large and the medium, it's not such a huge jump, but between the small and the medium, for a couple extra dollars, you can have that peace of mind and know that, I got enough space, this, and this. And then for me, I know that just going off just basic freeze dry times that I've seen, when I'm going to be running it for 24 hours or whatever, I want to have as much in there as I can. So I don't want to keep having to go through these cycles. So I think that's something else to look into, which brings me to the next point, which is, I'm just going to go through what it came with. So you got these 5 trays to slide in there. Everything, like, this is not 24 hours later, because as I said, I'm still in that process, but got it like later last night or whatever. So everything isn't even unboxed aside from the freeze dryer. I just wanted to get that out the way. Yeah. So you got your 5 trays, and as you can see, like, this is a decent size, I feel. Anything smaller would be a little like, I'm going to be packing things in which you aren't supposed to do, or I'm going to be doing multiple runs of this, and I mean, that's on your electricity bill, that's on just time in general. So I feel like the amount of time that you'll save with just running that cycle, and not having to keep doing things, I think that you will probably see the benefit in getting a medium. They come with some oxygen absorbers, which you are to put in every batch, which I feel is cool. You also get some Mylar bags, 8x12, 50 of those, 50 oxygen absorbers. You get your impulse sealer, which I'm excited about. I'm so excited about that one. And then my girl is telling me we gotta do this one. You get your oil filter, which I did not know really what it was when I was just like looking at what it comes with. I wasn't really sure of like what that meant, but basically, if you get the oil pump, you put oil in it, and so you're able to filter that oil out through this and give yourself a couple of uses with that one oil. So that is what this is for. And I think that I mean, you spend some money on it, so I won't say like, yay, they throwing stuff in. Like, I feel like they should, but there are a lot of you got Apple, you know what I mean, and they don't even want to give you a block these days. So I think that them giving you a lot of these things to start with, and they could easily, create this as a little starter kit, charge $50 for it. So I feel like that them including this, it does give you some type of peace of mind to your purchase, and you feel a little better about spending the money just a little bit. On the last thing that I did not mention was that it comes with oil, and in the instructions it says to fill your pump until you can see in the window that it's about halfway. They should just say use the whole bottle, essentially. And I think that you do get this oil system, but I think just in that, the fact that you basically use the whole bottle, that you should, maybe grab an extra bottle just to be safe. I don't know. That's just my little tip. I don't know. And I'm also looking into like how often do you have to filter and change your oil. I think that is interesting. So the things that you will have to buy or that don't come with it are they encourage you to have a 5-gallon bucket to drain your water in. And then again, you'll need to buy oil later on down the line. You'll obviously have to buy more bags, more oxygen absorbers. And then they have these silicone mats, which I will be purchasing. I actually ran into a snafu. I'm not gonna get into it. I probably will get into it on the show, but I'm not gonna get into it on here. But I ran into something, y'all, and I was in the middle of ordering a new table. That's another thing. Like, make sure you have a sturdy surface, because I don't use this behind me much, and we had decided like, oh yeah, that'll be good enough. But this thing is super heavy. My husband is like, it's not that heavy. It's ridiculously heavy. And so you want to have something that is extremely sturdy. Like, you spent the money on this, you don't want to come crashing down, you want something. And so I will be linking the one that I decided on and will be getting. But yeah, the silicone mats, you can use parchment paper in it. However, I just feel like the silicone mats, and I don't think you have to use the ones that, obviously if you can use parchment paper, then you probably can just use any silicone mat. But I know that those are specifically fitted for the trays. So I think that it would be nice. People have said that they can vary the drying times, but I just think it's worth it to keep those mats in a good state, because you are to wash them every time. But if you're like having to scrub them and soak them every time, that won't be good. So I think having that liner on it provides for you to get the most out of your trays. That's about it. The next video will be maybe during, but definitely, yeah, probably a little during, after of the bread run, which I'm excited about, because I'm excited to get something in here. My kids seen it and were like, we making Skittles, that is their favorite. So yeah. And that was another thing. I'm not sure about quantities for like what the quantity situation is, because we fear to admit, we have so much candy in our house. Like, I'm not kidding. But the one thing we don't have are the sour Skittles. We have a tub of regular Skittles that I'll definitely be putting to the test. But just wondering like how many bags of this fills a tray, which I probably can find somewhere. But if I can't, that is something that I want to get to you guys. Like, I want to be more transparent in the process. I feel like everybody's like, oh yeah, we're doing this, we got this, and they're all kind of the same. From a lot of the ones I've seen, you can go on the internet and get into the Reddit wormhole, they gonna tell you some stuff. But just if you're trying to get some simple information, because I definitely watched videos on the smalls and got me into a place where I'm like, yeah, I could do a small, and now I'm like, heck no. So I want to be as transparent through this process with you as possible, make you have an informed decision, and I'm hoping to have. So yeah, you'll see me in the next part. And if you see me, again, I only have a couple more hours now to actually start this process. So if y'all see me in the same thing, don't say I'm dirty. It's the same day. I know that I won't be able to get like the bread run. The entire bread run won't be in the same day, obviously. And I don't know how long it takes. And then obviously that first real run will be a different day. So stay tuned for that. Y'all will see me in the next one.